Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Mr. Amir Dabirian, Vice President for Information Technology and CIO.
Get out of my way.
He says that in office all the time.
Okay. I do think I just.
Oh, you need a mic. Everybody wave. We can hear you, Amir.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I'm here from one location.
We are not seeing you. You have to share this thing.
I know. I'm looking at your eyes. You want to take a picture. Take a good picture from your eyes. Thank you.
Can we have a group picture with you, Amir?
Yeah, selfie.
Yeah, I mean, turn around, I'll get everybody behind you.
There you go.
Everybody wave. And one video shot, everybody one. And everybody wave. Thank you very much. That's it?
Again, good afternoon, and I want to thank you for joining us in the IT Technology Day. I hope you had a great day today. We had a fabulous speaker this morning. I hope you tried all the things he asked you to do. How many of you guys actually rushed out and bought your HoloLens? John? And so it was fantastic. I'm really thankful to Tom for giving us a great lecture. Those of you missed it, I think we have our Titan Communication actually recorded it. Raj, is that correct?
Yes.
And we want to thank, well, first of all, I want to give a round of applause to Titan Communications and the crew to give them did a wonderful job. And again, to all the people that made it possible, Dusty and the staff. Could you stand up and give you a round of applause for everyone that was involved? Please stand up so we can give you applause. Thank you. Thank you. It was a fabulous event. Everything has gone great, and I'm hoping that we'll cap it off at the end with my closing presentation. As you noticed, we didn't choreograph, with Tom about inventing together. We actually were thinking about it. Robin and I and everybody else looked at it, and it was really the tagline that Robin came out, so I'm not going to take the full credit for it. But it is about inventing together in 2015 and 16. So my plan today is to talk about a little bit about technology, where we are, and then start looking at what are the trend of technologies, where is higher education with technology, and what we're doing, and talk about some of the project in Cal State Fullerton. Hopefully we'll take about 45, 50 minutes, so we'll have question and answer after this. I always have a little bit of cartoons to look at. I know most of you seen drones, and you see me flying some drones. And this is, again, some of those things. I have a trivia. Those of you seen this trivia, don't answer it. What's the unit of measurement to 1,000 zettabyte? No one. I have a gift for the trivia people. Okay? They're Googling it. Now, it's not, it's not an open book test or open iPhone test. This is, but what is it? It's yottabyte. It's correct. I'm glad you were able to search effectively the internet. So I do have a gift for you. So we do give gifts. Here you are. So it is, just to give you, this is something you want to know. Again, if you remember, there was the bits. It wasn't too long ago we were talking about bits. You know, you got bytes, you got 1,000 bytes, right? Kilobytes, right? Megabyte, gigabyte, right? As you can see, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte, brontobyte, and geobyte. So what they're talking about now is about yottabytes. So something to look at. So when you go home, if you ask your 12-year-old what is zettabyte, they will know. Give it a try. Okay? Most of the things right now that JPL is looking at is exabyte. So I just want to let you know, exabyte right now is something that today they start looking at. We're still on tera and peta in the universities, but JPL is looking at exabyte and also zettabytes. Okay? All right, what are the most popular social application among teenagers? Snapchat. Very good, John. I'll give you a very good. All right. So just to let you know, if you're still using Facebook, that means you're old. Okay? If you are using Instagram, you are better. Okay? So I don't claim I have a Facebook account. I do not use Facebook, so if you send me a Facebook or send me anything about Facebook, you will not get a response from me. So if you want to have any friendship with me, Instagram is the one you want to do that. I am not going to be your friend on a Facebook because then I have to admit I'm old. And I haven't done that yet. And a Snapchat. The Snapchat is good. So there's few things I want to show you. This is really good, some trivia. 300 million Instagrammer. This is 70 million photos and videos each day uploaded. Okay, it's 41% of the users are under 24. They're actually, the parents are catching up, so the age is going up. But this is the one that I want to show you. It's 100 million Snapchat active users. And there's 400 million a day snaps. That means 4 and an average a day snaps on a Snapchat. Okay? And 70% of users are under 21. So you can see John was right. Snapchat is the one that wins the thing. Another couple of things. In the US, we are very lucky. We have about 97%. We have 3 choice of carriers, for internet. And over 104% penetration. This is the one that I like. There's 91% of the people have PC or laptop. There 80% have a smartphones, and 47 have tablet, and 37 have game console. What's coming around is smart TV, like Apple TV, smart watch, smart wristband, and other things are coming up. Okay? I want to show you a little bit about, this is a little video. Can we connect this? Is it connect up, Chang? All right. Let's look at this little video. this is, again, this is done on Surface, and it's done with Adobe. Adobe, those of you, I attended the Max conference, and this was what they showed us on the, let me make sure I don't get to the next screen. Close all tabs. Okay, let's look at some of the trend of technology in Gartner's in 2015. Some of the things already Tom talked about this morning if you attended the Tom session, Tom Soderstrom. Computing everywhere, Internet of Everything, 3D printing, analytics, context-rich systems, smart machines, client-server computing, and web-scale IT. What I'd like to do is take you through some of these things and show you some numbers. This is something that I want you to pay attention to. Average Gen Y spend about 2 hours a day on a smartphone. I think there are a lot more than that. I think there's about 4 to 5 hours. But I wanted to show you this. 96% of executive looks at lacks of collaboration, ineffective communications. This is another thing. 39% of employees using social business tools, including mobile apps. Okay, 11% of the business are creating mobile apps for internal communications. So one of the things you will see that effect of these applications on internal communications. Okay? So one of the areas that you want to start looking at, how do we use apps more effectively in the new generation? Okay? Okay. Computing of everything. This is, again, I'm not going to get into this thing because Tom really talked about this. I want to talk about context-rich systems. One of the new trends, how many of you guys use Waze? Raise your hand. Okay? If you don't, go download Waze. Okay? I always try to give you a nugget when I'm doing my presentation. So remember about a few years ago, I told you to buy Apple TV. About 5 years ago, I told you to short your BlackBerry stocks and sell BlackBerry. If you don't listen to me, you would be a million. You don't have to be sitting here. Okay? Unfortunately, I can't do it because I'm in my role. Otherwise, I would have been rich. I should have quit my job and put all my stock on BlackBerry, shorting the BlackBerry. But Waze is one of those new context-rich systems. What it is it's a GPS system. Okay? It's a traffic control like the Google Maps or iPhone apps. But what's different is actually uses real-time information from its users to do predictive analytics on your time of from A to B. You can report there's a police right there, okay? And it's really fantastic because if you're going like me, and you watch Fast and Furious 7, you really want to use the Waze effectively because it tells you, and also tells you if there's a car in a shoulder, which is really effective, right? So it also calculates the time. It also gives you routes. So if I want to go from here to LA, it shows me what are the exact routes I should go there. And dynamically, you can check to see if those time gets updated. And it is up to the minute accuracy. So really, as you change, it will actually recalculate your route time and get you where you need to be. So you can't really lie to your spouses, I'm going to be late, because you exactly know what time you're going to get there. Okay. So context-rich switching. Another thing is Internet of Everything. Remember he talked about Internet of Everything. Really, there's one product which is really good that we're going to be talking about later on. It's called iBeacons. iBeacon is a little device. It's a Bluetooth device that kind of looks at to determine the location of it. iBeacons is Aruba technology. Those of you who went to our vendor, Aruba technology has installed iBeacons in some of the stadium, especially the Candlestick Park. They actually will know from iBeacons and your phone application exactly where you are, up to 2-meter accuracy. So when you order popcorn, they exactly know what seat you are, and they can deliver the popcorn directly to your seat. They have changed their sales immensely in Canada. Actually, their sales from the concession is higher than the sales from a ticket sales because of this, putting it in place. Also, another application of iBeacons is from supermarkets. If you go in a supermarket, By knowing those accuracy, you walk into the milk aisle. It actually can give you milk coupons and tells you more about milk. How many of you guys know that Coca-Cola now makes milk products? Didn't know that, right? New trivia for you. Okay. Cloud computing. Another thing that I want to talk about. Again, I'm going to go through these things one at a time just to get you guys by. Cloud computing. What's coming in the future is the concept of client cloud architecture. The cloud, everybody talks about cloud every day. What is a cloud? It's computing happening in some data center, in some remote place that you're not aware of, right? It's secure, gives you flexibility, gives you elasticity, but it's someplace else. So one of the issues we had a long time ago about how do we set up servers and set up clients. So the new structure now is a cloud client architecture. Okay, instead of client server architecture, remember those client server architecture, so it's moving in there. And developing the concept of personal clouds. Developing the concept of personal cloud. What is a personal cloud is, most of you can use storage cloud, you use Dropbox, those of you know that, okay? Also, you can get cloud computing space in Amazon and other products, other data centers. So you don't have to pay for a large server space or a large PC anymore, and use it as much as you want. I don't know if you know that. 95% of your PC is idle, runs idle. 95% of your desktops runs idle. So you turn it on and only using 5% of it. So if you put it in a cloud, you can only spend 5% to use 5%. Okay. Smart machine, my favorite. This is coming across the board. The first one, I thought he talked about HoloLens. I want to show you a video about HoloLens, which is really.
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen? Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine. Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. This is Microsoft HoloLens.
As you can see, the smart devices are getting better. HoloLens really can transform the way we do things. You know, what I like about it, you can change customer service to another level. You know, you can even teach your daughter how to do plumbing. Or your son to do plumbing. I have to go both sides, make sure I get it right. Okay. Other thing is unmanned aircrafts. We have John Carroll here that flies this all the time around campus. This is actually a picture of drone that I took from the top of the campus. This is about 600 feet above. Are you recording this? Okay. It's about 400 feet It's about 400 feet above campus. And when I'm doing it, there's nobody around. Did I do that, John? Right? Okay. This is, again, unmanned aircraft. You know, it can go places that you can't. This is an example of this. This device is called Phantom Vision 2, right? And it is about $800 now. The Phantom Vision is 2, and it can go up almost. All right. It can go 1,500 feet up, okay? And it can program to do things you've never done before. For example, you can do filmmaking, journalism. If you remember the tornado in Oklahoma, you know, some of the footage of a tornado was taken by drones. Actually, you could see it was broadcasting directly from the drones. And he said that. He says this was taken from drone. Remember previously you had to take what? Put a helicopter up, make sure the helicopter doesn't get, it's manned. If you have a tornado coming, could be all sort of the safety and risk management issues. So this can give you a different way of looking at it. You can do vegetation analysis, landscape change, geographic information systems, looking at everything we have. Okay. 3D printing. You can actually print food with 3D printing. I don't know if you know that. Next time you want to do, you want to go buy a food, you can actually get them printed for you. It can do chocolate, they can do sugar. Believe it or not, there are sugar. If you had a chance, do me a favor, go into YouTube and type in 3D printing and food. You can find there's I think it was a Ford that actually printed their first model of their car into a chocolate, and they distribute it out. So you can see actually how it's made. It uses sugar-based and creates chocolate out of 3D printing. There are 3 types of 3D printers. Most of you know. There are very low-end one that uses plastic. There's one that uses a powder. It's like a fiberglass powder, and it does super glue, every layer of it. If you had a chance, go look at it upstairs. We have those. And there's one is rubber. Uses a lot of rubber. And the food 3D printing is coming. It's also, as Tom indicated, you can do scanners. So you can do modeling of these things and printing those out. A lot of new parts now can be printed instead of manufactured. And it's a lot cheaper to do 3D printing. And the 3D printing is coming, as Tom said, as a service. So you don't have to buy. Our 3D printers are around $60,000, $70,000, but on the mid-tier one. The cheap one is about $1,000. I don't recommend people buying the cheap one because it breaks all the time. It's really, truly, it's not that high quality. The second one that we have is pretty good, but the issue is the maintenance and keeping up. So the best thing to do with 3D printing is actually contract out with people that do 3D printing and get your models into them to print it 3D. Okay. Let's look at EDUCAUSE 2015 top 10 issues of technology. This is something that I like to talk about always on my list of things. I'm going to go through these things in one at a time. There are top 10. Okay. Number 1, hiring and retaining qualified staff and updating knowledge and skills of existing technology staff. As most of you know, technology has gone wild. Tom just talked about it in the morning. I've been talking about it. There's so many things about technology you need to know. Training high qualified staff is becoming a number 1 issue in technology. How do we be agile? We have to be there before everybody else gets there. When a user or a customer comes and asks us for a service, and if we don't have the knowledge and expertise to do it, that institution is not going to be successful. Contracting is not a solution in most institutions. A lot of times you say, okay, we contract out to the experts. But the problem with contracting is you have to go through a lot of process to contract. And by itself, it doesn't make it agile. So in order to be agile, you have to have a core of an infrastructure staff in technology to be able to deliver the high quality technology on the institution. But I want you to look at the second thing that ECAR puts out, at risk. I want to look at this. This is really interesting. Okay? 1 out of 5 staff leaves because personal career goals are unattainable or non-compensated fairly, or institutional mission does not feel my job is important. So again, as you can see, the number one, number two, only number three, one is only compensation. For a CIO, I guess, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's only the top three. But again, for management, it's a not recognized or value aside. So one of the key about institution with us to make sure that we retain and educate and train very high quality staff. Okay. Optimizing use of technology in teaching and learning in collaboration with academic leadership, including understanding appropriate level of technology use. It shows you that almost every single faculty needs some sort of technology. LMS plays a vital role, but LMS is not in the top of the list. That's what I want to show you. Actually, what you have, free or web-based content on the top of the list. So you can see the faculty look at the switching of using different levels of technology for everything. Ebook, 3D printing is still coming up on this thing. This is, again, developing IT funding model that sustain core services, innovation, and facilitate growth. If you look at this, 76% of IT funds is good for operations. That does not leave much for innovations. In order for us to be successful, we need to be innovators. Only 15% for growth and 9% for innovations and transformative. Technology, improving student outcome through institutional approach, the strategy leverage technology. All of these three actually we're doing at our institution. Early alert system for our students, academic advising, and educational planning and tracking. Those of you know are part of our campus goals and part of some president's goals for us. Again, demonstrating business value of information technology and how technology and IT organization help the institution achieve their goals. If you look at here, it's important to have a service catalog in each of the institutions to support it. Okay? Increasing the IT organization capacity for managing change despite of different community needs and priorities. Again, percentage that have implemented IT change. We actually, on our campus, you can see most of the master public universities are only 30%. 44% doctoral public. So we are, on our campus, we actually implemented IT change management. Self-service is one that is almost every institution done it. This is the concept of bring your own devices, environment, and cloud computing. This is the one that I want to talk about. Developing mobile and cloud and digital security policies that work in the most institutional community. Where is Carrie? Carrie's in here today? See, I always call you out when you're not in a session. Okay. So we don't have to do any security when Carrie's not around. This is what Tom brought up, and I wanted to talk about. There is a balance about, if you look here, this curve shows risk control versus openness. And there's a balance here. So the concept of the priority for the institution needs to be the balance. You cannot be risk averse when you're looking for technology. Otherwise, you should shut your network and have no connection to internet. I always use an example of this. When you go to a neighborhood, and you see graffitis, you see barbed wires, you see locks, triple locks, you immediately know there's something wrong, right? You see people walking with guns and a lot of police cars. You see there's something wrong with that neighborhood, right? It's very easy. All you do is just turn around and go away from that neighborhood. I do not even want to pass through it, right? On internet, you have no idea where you are. You're clicking on that, and you may be in a neighborhood with lots of guns and barbed wires, and could be anywhere. You could end up in some place in any place I say somebody will get offended by. Somewhere in Mars. Somewhere in Mars that you get in trouble. Because you don't know. We get millions of attacks a day today. And we are shielding you from it from every day through a lot of tools and a lot of support from information technology staff. But we want to do it in a balanced way. So we want to make sure we work hard so you don't, and you can enjoy having a more safe environment. But when you're at home, you got to be careful how those environments you're going to, are they safe? And now, it's not just that. I know your kids going to those neighborhoods also. The question is, are they safe? So there's a risk averse, but you need to have a balance and make sure that when you go to that Starbucks and it says, I agree, how many of you know what you're agreeing to? Dr. Wi-Fi? All right. Again, another one is important for us developing an enterprise architecture. Again, come with agility. EDUCAUSE says that agility is really important in moving higher education forward. So we want to make sure that we have an enterprise architecture. Personnel institution with federated identity management. Now, we have developed identity management in this campus in 2000. One of the reasons, and when we developed our portal in 2000, some people already here that help us develop those portals. And then the identity manager did not exist anywhere in the higher education or industry. And we have gone to federated identity management in the past 7 years, Romeo? 7 years. That we are using in Commons. We wanted to, and the entire CSU actually is in Commons. So it is a very key to make sure your institution has federal and identity management. What does that mean? What does federated identity management means? How many of you guys use Dropbox? Okay. What username and password use for your Dropbox? Your single sign-on the campus. Because we have a federated connection to Dropbox. When a Dropbox wants to check your credentials, comes to campus, to us, asks for their credentials, and we're the one that give them the password. So you don't have to create a new address, new username and password. How many username and password do you have? Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me rephrase. Okay, how many of you have more than 50 username and password out in the internet? More than 50. Okay, 50 you don't? Good. How many of you got more than, well, under 20? Everyone, right? Over 10? I want to try to get triangulate between 10 and 20. But on an average, most of you have a lot of. How many of you guys, when you go, you have American Airline accounts, United Airline accounts, Southwest accounts, right? Away from all your bank accounts, your stock accounts, credit card accounts, right? You know, yes, your Gmail, your Yahoo, and so forth. So there, if I start talking about it, so I want to give you one piece of advice, another nugget to do. Do not use your campus email and a campus password from any other account. Because if you do, and if they're hacked, the number one things they do is look at where you work, and they're going to hack to your account on campus. That's how the hacker mostly gain access to. They will, because the Bank of America, if you look at American Airline accounts, or some of those accounts are more vulnerable to hacking, they'd rather hack the low security institution, grab your accounts, and then look around to see what your profile looks like. Because everybody profiles on the internet. If you don't know your profile on the internet, there's an easy way to find out. Go www.ussearch.com, put somebody else's first name and last name. Number one thing it gives them your age. You can find somebody's age. You can find a whole bunch of information about them. You can see their relatives. So everything, and for $10 more, it can give you if you're married. It can tell you everything else you wanted. You can say, what's your mother's maiden name, everything else. So for $100, you never know what they do. They actually figure out where your son goes to school. So it is important to look at identity management. So what we want to do is single sign-on. We don't want you to create another one. And we want to make sure that we deploy things very quickly. I am extremely excited today to reveal our campus IT strategy plan. How many of you guys took one of these things? Did you give them up? On the way out? All right. So we finally have our campus strategy plan for information technology that aligns to campus strategy plan. So we have a 4-year plan because the campus is a 5-year plan. And what we have done is look at our paradigms, our values, and goals. And I want to show you how we did everything. The paradigms are digital first, mobile first, cloud ready, enterprise ready, and data primacy. Values are collaborative service orientation, innovative and secure, accountable, transparent, and also agile and efficient. Okay. Goal 1 is student success. IT's goal is a student success. Same as university goal is. So we want to empower faculty, staff, and students to use with a technology-based solution that promote curricular and co-curricular success aligned with university goals 1 and 2. Same object of university. Same exact objective of a university. Number 2, innovative technologies. Maximize use of digital technology and mobile connectivity so the campus community can easily collaborate, innovate, and facilitate the exploration and adoption of new tools that support pedagogy, academic vision, and learning. Some of the objective example of that, we want to upgrade 25% of our classrooms to support collaborative and active learning. We want to design and implement support interactive physical spaces in a library, the LOFT project. Expand the proven technology, increase student achievement in a bottleneck gateway and low rates courses. Streamline 25% of our business processes. Increase our digital media in teaching and learning and upgrading our mobile applications. And finally, 24/7 help desk for our students. Number 3 is organizational excellence. This is, again, if you look at what EDUCAUSE said and also what Trend of Technology is. It is important for us to invest in our people in IT, both creating a right organization and governance and also make sure they get professional development. Every year, I invest from the IT's budget into professional development. Goal 4, dynamic and secure infrastructure. We want to make sure that we build and expand agile and secure technology infrastructure to provide reliable and effective and sustainable service. Okay, it is important what we want to do to have we want to use cloud services, but we want to be careful what we put in a cloud. So we were saying that we want at least 25% of our services be in the cloud. We wanted to deliver, at least increase the network capacity by 50%. The university is embarking on a project with the Chancellor's Office that we will replace our networking infrastructure. Not wireless, but networking infrastructure. And we wanted to increase the bandwidth by 50% in 4 years. Because what's going on today? Video plays a huge role in what we do. And we want to make sure that the video spread and large data transfers and cloud-based services are supported by our campus. We want to increase campus Wi-Fi by coverage of 90%. I never say 100%. Now, we know there's an article about Wi-Fi improvement, which has Willy's face on it. Willy Pang's face on it. And we're really trying to improve our wireless on the campus. More and more, we're adding more. We're doubling the capacity everywhere. And of course, we want to implement next generation ID security management with 2-tier authentication. That's one of the things we're looking at. Okay. Some of the cloud services we have already done. You have seen that, Office 365, Adobe Creative Cloud, lynda.com, and so forth. Let me talk about some of the projects we have that will be coming up this year and next year. We have improved our instructional experience for our students. Instructional software. We have over 12,000 deployment of Office 365 for our students. Office 365 is now available for student and faculty and staff for free. And we have implemented 12,000 of them. Adobe Creative Cloud. How many of you guys use Adobe Creative Cloud? Wow, fantastic. Okay, Adobe Creative Cloud is really a remarkable product that give you digital media in different forms, from Photoshop to video. to be able to do more animation across each of them. And it's been fantastic. And we have over 3,000 students now using it. Lynda.com. How many guys use Lynda.com? It's a fantastic service now that it can also does it does PMO. A lot of project management now training is on it. There is great technology. It was just bought in by LinkedIn. And I talked to Lynda people today, and they said they're supposed to even do more than what they're doing now. So finally, Lynda was the owner of this that created it. She did not want to sell the institution. So finally, she sold it to LinkedIn. Must have made a lot of money. Classroom chalk, we want to convert all the chalkboard in a classroom to whiteboard. This is a project that's we're wrapping up, and we want to create a model classroom for part of the SSI initiative. Here's an example of the active classrooms that we're looking at building. Basically have different monitors, flexibility on the furnitures, be able to do flipped classrooms and more engagement across the board. Be accessing upgrade technologies, looking at enabling, increasing expanding the Wi-Fi. Next year project, we want to double the capacity in every single classroom. So every classroom will double the capacity. Okay? As you know, on average, students bring up to 3 devices with them. So one of our issues has been, how do we sustain those increases in Wi-Fi? Improve library technology. You've seen what we have done here, right? That's one of the things we're going to do. I'll show you some example of that. And implementing a true 24/7 help desk for students. New spaces in the library. We wanted to, if you remember, how many guys remember how it was before we put this new change in here? Okay. This new change, by transforming the library into an active learning environment, we're putting flexible furnitures, we're putting charging stations, we're putting different type of high and low chairs that are our ability to be able to bring it together. You have removable desks, movable whiteboards, okay, and ability to check out laptops. Have those concept of computing, computers across the board. Bring them all together is create an active learning space for students. I want to give you an example of this. I went to ASI board and I was talking about the library, and one of the ASI leaders said, it was really loved this environment, but he told me something that was really interesting. He says, we were sitting around, and we just took a statistic course, and we have no idea how to do statistics. It's really a hard course. So while we were sitting around, there was another student, graduate student there, that he overheard us that we were working on a statistic. And she came and actually taught us, using the whiteboard, how to do the statistic in a class. So really changes the way the community is built and the engagement happen. I mean, you can also, when you get there, you can see the vibrancy of the area. The students won't be there if it's not vibrant enough. And also we have a Starbucks in there. I think it's really key for them to have a Starbucks in there. It was important for me to do that. So, and also we have a Student Genius Corner to really incorporate that. And as you know, we also have, we talked about 3D printing. This is the space, as you can see. It was another experience that I had. I had a student, I went over there and I took one of the consultants from the desk. I said, let's go over there. And there was like 5 or 6 of these whiteboards bundled up in a corner. And I said, let's go over there and move them back because there probably somebody pushed them over there. So we go over there and we see that actually the student create a group study room by walling off themselves using the whiteboards. So you can see the creativity of the students actually using that active learning environment. And you can see these things all move around. And we put a lot of power and charging station. This is again key for the new generation. We created faculty commons on the 2nd floor. I can see some FTC and some Oasis and ATC. Where's John? Where's John? He took my iPad and so we put it together. We also, one of the things we're trying to do, create a collaboration rooms or spaces between a student and faculty. Okay? Dropbox for Business. Those of you know, how many of you guys have Dropbox account? I want to make sure everybody does. Who does not have one? Raise your hand. All right. So it is important to have unlimited storage, allow us to have CSUF personal box account. We also have Dropbox for students. We have about 3,000 students enrolled to the Dropbox for students. Okay? Some other IT projects, we're looking at, we deployed Office 365 for iPad. We also, another big project is we have got Qualtrics, which is a surveying system, available for faculty, staff, and a student. So you can go create your own survey if you're a student and really administrate it. I don't know how you guys use that or not. We're also looking at refreshing the iPad 2s with iPad Air. We have a new iFullerton app. How many of you guys downloaded your new iFullerton app? Great. We have a new attendance piece of things. So if you shake it, it actually gives you a bar. And actually you can those are the places we can do attendance. We're also looking at using iBeacons for attendance. So when a student comes to a room, which is large enough, auditorium, it's hard to go on and scan it. But you can be able to just use the iBeacons in the rooms to be able to do attendance or getting you. Here we go. It's shaking again. All right. We have a new service for faculty and staff. How many of you guys went to a Links seminar? Please do. We have an audio-visual conferencing service. And now it's transition called a Skype for Business. So they actually combine Skype and Links together. So have a Skype for Business. So it is fantastic. It's a new way of doing two-way audio-visual across the board. What I like about it, it says rate my call. New way of thinking, we're looking at tablet being your laptop your desktop, and your personal computing be your personal cloud to be your high power computing. We're also looking at using a new technologies that kind of be interesting that I want to show you. There's a product we're looking at as a new called ChronoZoom. I want to show you this actually. Ooh, it's not. This doesn't have it. All right. Okay, what it does is ChronoZoom, learning management system, is the last piece that I want to talk to you before my time is up. Learning management system today is, if you look at Titanium, look at Blackboard, look at, WebCT, we used to have it, look at Canvas. They're all using 1990 technologies. It's a website, you log into it, it does some activities, and it doesn't do anything more. Today, it's more of a graphical user interface, if you look at it. ChronoZoom is a new open source product that allows you to look at things graphically and uses true HTML5. That means you can use your gestures on your iPhone, you can enhance, you can use your gestures, you can use your hand move gestures, zoom and unzoom features of the gestures. It also shows your entire class into graphical interface. This is week 1, this is week 2, week 3, all the way to the final. So you want to go to this one, you click on it, it expands up, you can use your hand, you can expand it, you can see what's in it, you can play it, you can do multimedia, you can open up the things and actually see. It also allows you to narrations. So you can narrate for a student what to do, part of this thing. So it's a really transformative product that we have one of our faculty already using this product, is a professor in history, and actually using it for his classes. So we are really looking at different way of transforming our learning management system for our teaching and learning moving forward. Okay, all right. Any question? All right. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
What is the 3D printer being used for? Who's actually coming and using that resource right now?
I can give you more, I'll tell you, mechanical engineering uses it, arts for animations uses it, civil engineering. So a lot of those things you can actually create office products if you really want to. So there's a lot of things you could do with 3D printing, but it's really for modeling and for parts, and that's what everybody's using. But animations, I know they're looking at it. So when you're looking at when you're looking at characters, they want to print those characters. So right now they draw those characters, they can move them to Adobe, and now from Adobe you can go into 3D printing. Right, stage. Theater will using it for stage.
Yeah, what I want to add is, in addition to the one we have at the Digital Print Services, NSM has their own 3D printer, and they print body parts. Yeah.
Well, they are looking at their prosthetic feet, and those are things that can be removable. Right now, when it doesn't fit right. I'll tell you a story. Another one is they are looking at, when they're looking at the body parts. For example, mammogram. A lot of things are looking at, instead of doing a mammogram using MRI, and then actually 3D print, and then look at to see how everything is organized, and see if there's any kind of issues with it. So they are looking at particular body parts, and they can use MRI and 3D printing to be able to analyze it better, because they can now see it in more depth and actually can do slices and look at some of the surgeries can be done certain ways. So it will really change the way we do things, especially. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are looking at a lot of, the whole technology, again, is the materials. They are now working on how do we do the materials more. Right. Parts for different things. Yes.
In China, they printed kidneys, live kidneys. So,
is LMS mandated by CO to be certain?
No, we don't have a learning management system mandated by the Chancellor's office. Right now, some campuses use Moodle, some campuses use Blackboard, some using Canvas. So the question becomes, in the future, is the flexibility of creating a set of flexible environment for faculty and staff. So there's no mandate. We're looking at this could be a possible, ChronoZoom could be a possible learning management system of future. Any other question? Again, thank you very much. Thanks for having a wonderful day.